Hello traders, Day Trader Matt here with businesswithtrading.com, doing an E-mini trading room recap for Tuesday the 2nd of December. Welcome to the second day of December, everyone. And today was an awesome day. I didn't think today was going to be that bullish yesterday at 12 o'clock when I was closing the trading room down. I always go over an analysis. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. But at that time, I didn't expect the market to, do what it did today. I was expecting it to do a couple different things, and depending on what it did would kind of determine its outcome. And then this morning it kind of opened up a little choppy, and it just never looked back the entire morning. So it was a very, very interesting day. We did have 5 trades, and we ended up pulling 19 points out of the market. So let's talk about what we did, and then we'll talk about how the market looked yesterday towards today. So we'll get into that real quick. The first few minutes, we took 3 trades in here. Our first trade, we did grab off the open, and we rode that up a little bit, and then we got long as it did pull back. And we were able to ride that up, getting long again down here, and again taking profit on the way up. Over here. Then the market came down, it chopped around a little bit. We did take a small long down here at 5 even. We were able to ride that up, and we ended up taking profits up here. And then we got long again over here. Actually over here. Right here at 8.5. We got long. And we ended up taking that off right about here at 0.5. So we got out right here. Market did come down. It did shoot right back up. It's very, very interesting how it traded. That gave us 19 points on the day. So very, very good day. And let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about what we were seeing, what we were looking at. And pretty much this was the close of yesterday. Let's bring in some more data here. Let's blow this up a little bit. Alright, here we go. Pretty much this was 12 o'clock. And this is, the room lasts till 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And, we shut down the room. What we were looking for was, this staying, below this area here, and then selling off. And we were looking for a sell-off a little bit lower than this, about maybe 4, 5, 6 points lower than this. Didn't happen. Which actually was quite interesting. It didn't happen here. Came up. Didn't happen here. And actually, I think price did make it down to 49.5, 49.75, something like that in overnight trade. But it was still interesting. It didn't break down at all. I did think on the breakdown that we were probably going to get some support, and then it would be able to go higher. But I wasn't thinking that this was going to happen. I was thinking it's either going to break up and go higher, or it's going to hold and go lower. But it was very interesting that it held. And that was kind of a clue that, the market can actually take off. And then, if you were conservative, you probably would have gotten long over here, not taken any of this. Or if you were ultra conservative, you would have taken this one. Those are 2 trades that I talk about a lot in, the trading course when I coach people. There are different things you can look for in the market to kind of just give you a clue as to, what's going on. I got some feedback recently from people, how do you know when a trend's starting? That's a fairly good question. Because when I was starting to trade when I first got into trading. I remember it like it was yesterday, and probably because it was traumatic. I don't know what to do. There's so much information and books and stuff, and I don't know anybody who's a trader. Because I really didn't. I knew some people who invested fundamentally. Like Walmart's a really good stock. The economy looks good. This is a pretty good price to buy it at. Let's get in it and hold it for 5 years. Something like that. That's not the type of trading I wanted to do. I want to buy today and I want to sell it in 30 minutes or an hour, or if I'm lucky, 2 days. That's the type of trading I wanted to get into. Now with stocks, I do buy and keep it for a few years, but that's what stocks are for. Stocks are supposed to buy them and hold them for a while, and that makes them advantageous from a tax standpoint as well. Day trading stocks, not that advantageous to from a tax standpoint. I'm not a what do you call it? I'm not a certified tax person, so it is what it is. But you always kind of have to give disclaimers. But that's true. Equities are not the best short-term trading vehicles from a tax perspective. If you want to make the most amount of money possible, I would say futures, and that's why I trade futures. There's many reasons. I really just love the market. It's just awesome. The history of the futures market's awesome. I just really, really enjoy it, and that's why I talk about it so much. That's why I trade it every single day, and that's why I swing trade them as well. But you kind of have to look at it from an overall, perspective. What do you enjoy trading? But at the same hand, what can you make the most money at and risk the least amount of money? If you can make $1,000 a day, but you're risking $2,000, even if your probability is 80%, it's not the best thing to do. There are much, much better, ways to make money than that. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about it a little bit, just share some things, share some ideas. Really quickly, the question was posed, how do you know when a trend is happening? So let's zoom out this chart a little bit. Might as well go to chart. I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Alright, this shows after hours trading, or Globex trading if you will. And let's blow this chart up. Alright, so pretty much this is where we're at. We're looking at this information, nothing else. So, what can we actually glean from this information here? Pretty much we see a low here, we see a high here, we see the market break this low here. So it made another low, very, very small high, then it breaks this low here, and just from that information, this is a downtrend, and it's starts chopping. It's still breaking down, still not breaking down actually, but it's not progressing either. And then we see overnight, which is at around 3:45 in the morning Eastern time, it actually does break above this area. Interesting, something could be playing out. Price comes down, it holds here. We see at 5 o'clock it hit that 49.50 level I was talking about earlier. So now it's about 5:45 in the morning, and price hit 51.5, and then right here at 9:30 price hit 52.5, and we got long right off the open at 3 even. We can see why that's such a good area because it actually held here. Look at that. Interesting. Then price broke this area. So that's why I was saying if you're ultra conservative, you would get long here because this tells you the market's going up. That is a basic way to read the market, and that's, I talk all the time about reading the market is the most important thing of trading, really. It doesn't really matter what certain instruments can do, like stochastics or MACD or any other crap like that. In my opinion, they are crap. They don't really help. They kind of hinder more than anything. I know some people that try to trade divergences a lot, and they get smacked in the face a lot. It makes trading a lot more difficult. And simplifying trading as much as possible is really the best thing to do. In my opinion it is, but I think that in the world, simplifying trading is the best thing you can do for yourself. Whenever you have the least amount of headaches, you're at your best state. If you have a lot of information coming at you, you have a headache, you're in a bad mood, most likely, if that's all that's happening. The brain doesn't like a lot of uncertainty. So if you're throwing a lot of stuff at it, the stochastic is saying this, the MACD is saying this, and these were indicators that were developed, 30 plus years ago. Why do you want to use them today? I don't know. Some people like them, and to each their own. I'm not here to say do this and only this. I'm just saying, my style works really well for me. It's worked really well for a lot of other people. But there are myriad ways of trading, and there are a lot of ways of trading that can be successful. It is what it is. But I'm just talking about my style and the way that I teach. That's one way to read the trend, and that's how you know if it's trending or not. You don't look at a MACD or stochastic or any of that other crap, because it's not going to help you. Looking at it at the most basic level, like they looked at it 100 years ago. How did Jesse Livermore make all of his money? Did he use the MACD and shit? And how did he lose all of his money? He had psychological issues. That's been documented. Whenever you have psychological issues, it's going to be difficult to progress beyond a certain point unless you fix those psychological issues. That's another thing that I do as well. I help others overcome things. I'm not a doctor or anything, and I think that actually makes me better for that. Psychologists and doctors, they study what? They study books. They study information that other academics have looked at, and in my opinion, academia, it serves a purpose, but that purpose is smaller than what they're given credit for, I think. They prescribe things based on the past, whereas if you're really studying neuroscience and psychology, which I have for a long time, you can do a lot more stuff with it. And right now, the industry is just so exciting, and I know a lot of people are like, what? So exciting? But for me it is. I get into that stuff. It really invigorates me and, energizes me. So that's, why I just love what I do so much. But anyway, hopefully that made sense to you, answered your question. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to try to answer what I can on video, and I always email everyone back no matter what. So with that, thanks for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you back here in the markets. Thank you.